the ZX10 Masters Cup action is proudly brought to you by Raceway for ultimate activation. Hello and welcome to Zwartkops Raceway for round 3 action of the 2020 Raceway ZX10 Masters Cup. It's the first official race meeting back from lockdown. Unfortunately, no spectators allowed, but it's great to see a packed grid of 18 riders line up for this Red Square ZX10 Masters Cup race. Track preparations looking oh so sweet as always here at Zwartkops Raceway. And you can hear those bikes starting to get fired up in pit lane. Johan Fourie telling all the riders what they need to do. Apana Ganapathy doesn't quite know where he's going. And of course you've got to have those face masks on. The umbrella's coming out because the sun has come out, which is a good sign for those track conditions. Great to see pit lane is jam-packed with the riders. One of those riders is Class C contender and stalwart of this class. It's Mr. Teddy Brook.
Yeah, we've got a nice big field. It's a bit chilly, but otherwise it's good. The track feels good. First session a bit slippery, but otherwise it's good.
There is your Class C Championship leader, the very wacky Johan Leroux. Thumbs up there from him. Sanjeev Singh all the way from Durban. Apana Ganapathy getting ready. And all the way from Cape Town, newcomer is David Enticott.
David Enticott out with the Red Square ZX10 Masters. Are they Masters out on the track?
They definitely are. There's no doubt about it. As it's my first time here, I had to follow a few of them around. And it was quite exciting to see where the lines were and whatever. I just had to kind of put one and one together.
Also coming back after 4 months must be a bit tricky. The bikes must seem very fast.
They do indeed. It's a very technical track, so getting used to cracking the throttle on and getting it out the corner is definitely something we need to overcome over the weekend and gain some corner speed. They do feel strong, definitely. Even up in Joburg, they feel very strong.
Let's catch up with Jordan Agliotti, big contender last time out.
We always hope that we can perform as best as we can. Having a few niggly issues today with the practice. Hopefully we can get them ironed out. Starters not working, a couple of small things. But yeah, if we can have a repeat, I mean the guys are fast. Smith looks like he's on some good pace. Conditions are a little bit tricky. If everything irons out, yeah, we'll put our heads down. We'll try to get the best possible result we can, obviously for the championship. The guys from the ZX10 are absolutely incredible. They helped my brother and I go racing this weekend. We're not even sure who, but apparently the whole ZX10 family has just helped us come out here, so we're very appreciative of that. And yeah, so let's see if we can put the result together for that,
Fresh new Bridgestone tyres getting ready to get fitted, and championship leader always on the ball when it comes to that.
Checking carefully that your tyres get fitted properly, and you check the date stamps on those tyres as well.
Always, Dave, old school, you learn these old tricks, so you try and see what's what,
Graham, last time out, a bit of an issue. Just take us through what happened there with your bike.
Yeah, the quick shifter, the linkage to the quick shifter broke, which basically operates the whole gear pedal. So we're stuck in third gear, and at least we managed to get some points. So I think I'm only 8 points ahead, but still in the lead going into this race. So it was worthwhile riding around in third.
Your dad, Les from Radar, told me now in practice you actually went faster stuck in one gear than you did with the whole gearbox today.
Yeah, unfortunately so far, but there's still one more practice at least left.
Last bit of preparation down in pit lane, and great to feel that tension once again in Zwartkops pit lane. John Tikolo, looks like lockdown's been kind. He's got his Papa Pizza ovens on board with him for this race number 1. Ruan Albahaza getting himself ready. All the riders, Johan Leroux's got his new Scorpion lid there, ready to go do battle out on track. All the riders getting ready. Landy Sinden, our lady racer, getting herself ready. Ian, the TRP man, getting those berry gloves fitted. It's all about the final preparation now. Graham from Radar is the man to beat. Teddy Brook getting some final instructions there from our championship leader. The tyre warmers are coming off those fresh and very sticky Bridgestone R11 tyres. Remember, all the riders on the exact same tyres. There's no advantage to be had there. Ian Harwood puts the visor down on his aero helmet. Here are the riders heading out now. Qualifying is done and dusted. It is time to finally get back on track and racing after lockdown. Some big contenders. There's the man all the way from Cape Town, David Enticott. Great having him joining this championship for the first time. Watch out for the likes of Aubrey Maria, Henk Scaling, Ian Harwood, Cole Robeck, a little bit further down as well. But surely the man to beat is the number 1 plate of Graham from Radar. Michael Schmidt looking to continue his good form from the previous round just before lockdown. John Ticolard right in there, and watch out for those very fast Agliotti brothers on their Ridgeway Race Bar sponsored Kawasaki machines. Coming to the line now, Sanjeev Singh, another contender for that top 10, as is Apana Ganapathy on the grid. Then it is Graham from Radar, the number 1 on that number 1 spot. Gareth Bazannote, a welcome return to the front row of the grid. Thumbs up there from the Agliottis. Join us after the break for Race 1 action. Welcome back to Zwartkops Raceway. Red Square ZX10 Masters Cup action about to resume here for the first time after lockdown. And big thank you to our sponsors, Red Square, of course, and Bridgestone tyres. Those R11s are fitted. All the riders have got them out. The wind's picking up ever so slightly. And joining me, as always, in the commentary booth, Dave Peterson. That is going to be a key factor in this race.
The track is fairly cool, Rob, so it might be a few laps before the tyres really get up to speed. Don't forget, they've got tyre warmers, so the tyre temperatures are just about right. But always you've got to actually scrub those tyres in on the track. Whole shot, who goes into turn one? It's Graham van Breda. Bike number one, Stefan Stocks, looks like he's got the whole shot. I must tell you that the Agliotti brothers have been having some problems with their bikes in the practices, so hopefully they've sorted those problems out and they're right up there.
Yeah, it sounds like fuel pump problems there for the Agliotti brothers, so let's hope they can, because they'll certainly be in that fight for the top three as we go on board here with Jonty Collard carrying that extra bit of weight from the Papa's Pizza Ovens. Gets good drive onto the back straight, got Michael Schmidt just ahead of him there. Van Breda already starting to check out, so he's very confident that he got the right date and the right tyres fitted to that motorbike. There is David Entigott all the way from Cape Town. He's up inside the top 6 or 7. That's a brilliant start.
Fantastic start. And just going back to Jonty Collard, would yours be a 4 Seasons or just a normal pizza?
Looks like Jonty's had the 4 Seasons with all the toppings on top of that. It's been a good lockdown for a lot of the riders out there. Fitness is going to come into play, I can tell you that right now.
I'm sorry to pull your leg, Jonty, if you're going to watch this later on. Ooh, look on the brakes. So Agliotti straight away, he's trying to get past Teddy Brook. Teddy Brook, once again, a brilliant start. So the focus is going to be on 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, so on. And we're on board again with a punter. Oh, down into turn one. This is a tricky corner, Rob. You've got to hold the inside, don't want to run wide, and then keep it in the straight line, bang it into turn number 2.
Yeah, it's very tricky out there because you've got to try and make the track as short as possible, but you also don't want to turn in too early and cut the corners too much, so it really is difficult. Graham van Breda is getting it perfect at the moment. He's stretching the lead now. Agliotti there in 2nd place. Jordan doing a brilliant job. Let's hope those fueling gremlins don't come to haunt him. Johan Leroux, your Class C leader and championship leader at the moment, he's doing a good job. Gareth Bazaine, not the best start from the front row of the grid. Let's see if he can make some positions up there. Teddy Brook up there in the top 3. That's a brilliant start from him. Michael Schmidt right on his tail.
Teddy will be looking out for Johan Leroux, the Class C contender. So where he's at the moment, that's fantastic. A bit of a gap opening at the front too straight away, but look at that dive by Michael Smith on the brakes on Teddy Brook. Down in the final turn, and Jonty Collard also having a look. It won't be long before Jonty says, if I'm going to be up with the top 3, I've got to go past right now. And behind them, Gareth Besaidenote. Good to see him back on form.
It's great to see Besaidenote. He gets those elbows out and he's not afraid to shove that Kawasaki on the inside. Round the outside, Jonty Collard on the brakes on Teddy Brook going into turn 2. Look at that bike bouncing all over the tarmac, but he's made it stick. Brilliant stuff. Jonty knew that he could not allow Michael Schmidt to get away because that'll be his chances of a podium gone. Landy Sinden, our lady rider, a little bit further down there with Ruan Alberhauser, and of course Henk Scaling, one of the stalwarts of this class, once again in there doing battle. Schmidt now, remember last time out at Zwartkops before lockdown, Schmidt on those podium positions consistently, so he really has become a contender in the Red Square ZX10 Masters Cup.
And look at these two. This is Smith closing down now onto the back of Jordan Agliotti. Keith Agliotti a little bit further down in the pack, having a good ride nonetheless. They're all very happy to be back on the track. Johan Leroux getting a lot of lead angle behind Teddy Brook there as they flickered down the hill. And Gareth Besaidenote, as you said, great to see him back on form. He went off for a little while. We're not sure if it was bike issues or what, but he's really coming back on strong again. Teddy Brook, though. Look at that from Teddy Brook. Class C leader. Johan Leroux will be looking up the road and saying, a couple of points to be had there.
Yeah, this is when the Bridgestone tyres really have got all the heat in it. This is when they work at their optimum level now. You can see those lean angles just getting a little bit more exaggerated. Grip coming out of the turns now. Those lap times are starting to come down. This is a great battle. Johan Leroux just behind Bazaine. He's got Teddy Brook just ahead of him. So again, great to see the different battles between Class A, B and C riders. Of course, that's categorized by age group. And in 2nd place, Jordan Agliotti coming under pressure now from Michael Schmidt. The Ridgeway race bar man starting to feel the pressure. He's on the slightly more old school gen Kawasaki ZX10. Michael Schmidt on the newer gen and is starting to pay dividend. There is David Entigott just running inside that top 10, but he's got company now from Stewie Christie and Aubrey Murray.
And Sanjeev Singh also in the mix as well. So Sanjeev having a good ride there. But further up front, Graham van Breda pointing out number 1 bike is a Class B campaigner. So overall and Class B winner at the moment.
Agliotti going all kinds of sideways. We saw this from him when he came into the championship at the beginning of the year, but it does look like he's dropping off that pace. Let's hope those fueling gremlins or electronic gremlins, whatever they've got in those bikes, is not hampering them too much, because at the moment, Keith's a little bit further down. Here comes Michael Smith on the inside. That is very tight. Is he going to be able to hold it? No, he doesn't. Yeah, he runs wide. Classic turn 2 at Zwartkops. You can go in deep, but you just can't bring it back online.
Van Berda's got the length of the back straight lead now. Jordan Agliotti in second, Michael Smith in third. Jordan has had that bike apart so many times now. He just looks sideways at it and the fuel tank jumps off on its own.
So there's his brother Keith a little bit further down. You can see not the same kind of pace that we know he's got under that machine. There is Ian Harwood, the TLP man. Good ride once again from Ian. Just sneaking himself into that top 15 to get as many championship points as he possibly can. He's running in Class B at the moment. Look behind there from it. Was that Aubrey Marais?
Cole Roelbeck, I think, just behind him. Yeah,
having a good look behind him. Michael Schmidt. Oh, a little bit of a tank slapper coming out of that left-hander. So easy to do there. Did well to bring that in check, but he certainly has more pace than Jordan Agliotti ahead of him.
Further down the field, we're looking at Stewie Christie. David Endicott, you've just got to mention. First time out with these Masters, and he's really lapping it up. Oh, foot coming off right there. That's Jordan Agliotti. Jonty Collard, a little bit in no man's land right now. He can't afford to let those top 3 get away from him.
Yeah, and he can't afford the chasing back behind him to get involved as well. As we go on board here with a pun up Ganapathy, listen to him. Second, third, fourth. Short shift into fourth, hold fourth. Try and hug that apex. Nice little wide line. He's going to try and bring it back to that apex. Get on the gas. There's a couple of little bumps there, so you've got to spend most of your time trying to dodge those. Dodging everyone out front at the moment is Graham from Idar, the number 1 plate. But Michael Smith, Jordan Agliotti's got a lot of work to do. He's been comfortable in second place there. He's seen that green machine shove it on the inside of him once already. It's all about the defensive job now, because remember, in the championship, Agliotti's still right up there. He's got to get as many points as he can. Otherwise, this man once again is going to run away with it.
Came from Bradar. Stephanie Stocks has got this one tied up. There's that pack behind. Are they closing down now onto Jonty Collard? It looks like it, because Teddy Brooks having a fantastic ride, and he's bringing Gareth Besaidnout along for the ride.
Whatever Teddy Brook did during lockdown is working now. Oh, again, Agliotti, that foot slipping off. I hope that's nothing spilling on the foot peg or something, because we've seen that 2 laps in a row now, that left foot just coming off the foot peg there. But Teddy Brook is the most rejuvenated man after that lockdown, because he's come back ready to fight. Sanjeev Singh comes through a little bit further back. Stewie Christie, the dog doctor, doing a great job there, and just ahead of him is still that man from Cape Town, David Endicott. So no bad feelings coming all the way from Cape Town. He's throwing it in the mix. Michael Smith, the top of the hill. Does he make it stick this time? Yes. A change up then for second place.
Looks like he blocked past him almost. He got the line. He just held him there, brought back the speed, and Jonty Collard now, as we said, stuck in no man's land. He's behind those 2 riders. You can see them just ahead as they flick it down the hill into the final corner. So Michael Smith now into second place. Will he try and close down on Graham from Bradar? I think not. Graham is just too far ahead. Andy Sinden, great rider.
Yeah, she's having a great ride. So as is Cole Roelbeck and Ian Harwood, and that man's also starting to come through now. Hank Scaling as Graham from Idar on that Stephanie Stocks from Idar racing machine out front. Looks so smooth. Loving the new Bridgestone R11 tyres. They've got that ZX10 machine set up to perfection. It's the battle for second now. Jordan Agliotti has got a problem on that bike, because since Michael Smith has got into second, he just cannot keep the pace, and he's now dropping into the clutches of not only Jonty Collard, but Besaidnout, LaRue, and Teddy Brook behind him. There is the man from Cape Town, David Endicott. Another brilliant ride. He's just trying to hang on to the coattails there of Sanjeev Singh.
Michael Smith, he's now stuck in no man's land, because we see Jordan Agliotti has really dropped off the pace. In fact, Jonty Collard is on him. Agliotti must have a problem with that bike. It looks like oh yeah, look at that. Collard just screams past him. So Jordan is a sitting duck now. That bike is not performing well.
It's such a pity for the Ridgeway Race Bar Break Late sponsored man. He was doing all the hard work, got into second place, was there for majority of the race, and in the final stages now dropping down the fence. Besaidnout ahead of Teddy Brook. So Besaidnout now with the hurry up. He can smell a podium here with the demise of Jordan Agliotti, who's dropping further down the field. David Endicott now trying to do everything he can to get ahead of Sanjeev Singh. He gets a nice tight line going up the hill. Can he do it on the brakes? Collard now up into third place. There is Agliotti and Besaidnout. It's only a matter of time now before the bright yellow machine. Yes, he does. Agliotti is just holding on for dear life now.
He's trying to wring its neck, but the bike just won't respond. So frustrating for him. He's running up in second place, and he's just dropping through the field like a stone. From Bradar, with the laps are winding down. We're on the last lap right now. He's got, about 8-second lead now over second place man Michael Smith, who's got another 6 seconds over Jonty Collard. So we've spread out 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, it's been a dominant performance from pole position from Graham van der Merwe. No kind of cobwebs in the making there for van der Merwe after lockdown. Michael Schmidt continuing his great performances after lockdown, again on the podium, more championship points. Henny the flag, gets the flag out. The classic flag comes across the line as Graham van der Merwe picks up the win. That is Landy Sinden a little bit further back, but van der Merwe will be comfortable with that ahead of Michael Schmidt. Jonty Collard in third, Bezuidenhout in fourth. Johan Leroux just sneaks it in Class C ahead of Teddy Brook. Apana Ganapathy there in seventh, and Jordan Agliotti demises down to eighth place.
I used the grip of the bike. Early this morning we had a lot of grip out there. So I got a really, really good start and managed to put in a couple of mid fours, which I managed to break the gap to about +5, and then just stayed consistent all the way to the end.
Welcome back, and we head straight into race 2 of the Raceway ZX10 Masters Cup. On board now with Michael Schmidt. That's going to be some great footage coming from that motorcycle. He lines up on the front row of the grid. Van der Merwe, Gareth Bezuidenhout and Michael Schmidt are your front row of the grid. Can van der Merwe once again just get the start and check out? It's up to the likes of Bezuidenhout. Get those elbows out and just ruffle the feathers of your championship leader. Does look like a very good launch from pole position. Van der Merwe's got the optimum line. He sweeps around the outside. Ian Harwood taking a little bit too ginger going in there. Keith Agliotti around the outside. So starting from further back in the grid with those problems, Jordan getting all kinds of sideways and up into third.
Just got to mention the other riders got together so that the Agliotti brothers could get some tyres and come and ride. Help them with getting tyres and financial support. That just shows you the sort of people that are riding in the Red Square ZX10 Masters Cup. Great bunch of guys.
Yeah, that's what it's always been about. The camaraderie in this championship is really what sells it. The racing just is the tip on the iceberg, actually. Just really is frantic stuff. Keith Agliotti trying to make his way now ahead of Henk Scaling, trying to get his way through the field. Let's hope they've sorted out those problems, whatever they were, from race number 1. Van der Merwe's got Gareth Bezuidenhout, much better start now. We've always seen in the past when Bezuidenhout gets a good start, he's right in that mix.
Now watch out for him in that mix, and Keith Agliotti just getting past there.
Ooh.
Oh, in the background, look at that. Jonty Collard. Rob, did you see that? Right out of the seat. Maybe cold tire.
Maybe. It's the first time you go flick it down left in anger, and Collard just got thrown out of that seat. The extra weight from lockdown didn't do him any good there, the Papa's Pizza Oven man. And let's see, maybe it's cold time, maybe it's tire pressure. So vital in these kind of conditions. Track temperature, not too hot, but it's almost just under where you want it to be. So the riders have to be very careful, especially on Bridgestone tires, which we know need that heat in the tire. Here we go on board with Jonty. This is going to be perfect. Well done to the guys for getting on board on here. Oh, how's your mother? Yeah, just right at the edge of the tire, and it just flicks him. How did he stay on that? Okay, I lied. That extra weight from lockdown did come into play.
Sorry about that, Jonty. But I tell you what, that's got to give him a bit of a fright. And you're going to be saying, hang on a moment, are these tyres working or are they not working? So Jonty under a bit of pressure then, because straight away we're going to see a Apana Ganapathy chasing after him. Van der Merwe's got company this time around. Gareth Bezuidenhout is right there, as is Michael Smith. Teddy Brook hanging in for the ride, as well as Johan Leroux. This is brilliant up front. We've got 5 bikes in under 1 second.
Yeah, this is much better. You can see the riders right behind Van der Merwe do not want to let him get away. And Gareth Bezuidenhout has always done this. When he's able to follow a Foster rider like Van der Merwe, he's able to do those lap times, and that's exactly what he's doing in this race. Sanjeev Singh has got a Apana Ganapathy right on his tail, so not the best start there for Apana. He's got some work to do. David Entercott also just has lost that toe, and he kind of finds himself in no man's land. Johan Leroux, that is a great battle there for Class C honours, out on track with Teddy Brook just ahead of him. Gets a little bit out of the seat there, so track conditions looking a little bit slippery compared to race number 1. Just waiting for that optimum tyre pressure, and it's time to attack. But Bezuidenhout is the most improved rider in race number 2 for sure. Leroux on the inside, further back of Teddy Brook, could be a change-up for Class C.
He was lining that up from turn number 2. You could see him trying to get that drive. Van der Merwe on the brakes, ever so strong. But Gareth Bezuidenhout, he's learning every second. Okay, here's where I'm stronger. This is where he's stronger. So he's now working out the tactics. Great line from Van der Merwe. You see that? Went in late into the right-hander, flicks it left, faster down the hill instead of trying to hold the tight line.
Yeah, it also makes you not be on the side of the tyre for as long as some of the other riders that do tend to turn in a bit earlier. Landy Sinden getting her elbows out there, and in a good battle there with Cole Robeck, Aubrey Marais, and Henk Scaling a little bit in that battle. Ruan Olberhauser and Ian Harwood suffering a little bit in this race, so not too sure what's happened to the Bridgestone man. No such problems for Bezuidenhout, just using that experience to follow from Bedar and looking much more racy. Ooh, Ooh, a tank slapper as he came out there. The rear end loaded itself, made the front a little light, gave him a nice tank slapper there. There is David Enticott, the Cape Town man, a little bit further back compared to in race number 1.
He's got Stewie Christie in his sights as we go on board with our punter. This is brilliant. Sanjeev Singh's in the mix right there. The speed through that turn number 4. It's around about 200 k's per hour as they come out of there.
Yeah, listen, you need a lot of cojones to get flat out through there, and that's exactly what these riders are doing. The Bridgestone tyres are wearing beautifully here, even in a track that hasn't been used that much during lockdown. Really thought those tyres were going to take strain, and they are performing brilliantly. Jordan Agliotti now just starting to slowly make his way forward. He's got ahead of Teddy Brook now. He just doesn't have enough pace to get into the top 3 though, but he's safe there in 4th at the moment. There's the battle for Class C honours. Remember, Teddy Brook currently lies 2nd in the overall championship to the man right on his tail. So if he can get one over him, it'll be some good points in the championship. Stewie Christie right on the tail there as well of Ruan Alberhauser and Aubrey Marais and Cole Robeck in that dice. Oh, what's happened here? Sanjeev Singh's gone straight. Doesn't look like it's anything.
I think he just outbraked himself there, Rob. So he's run off the track. So Sanjeev suddenly is out of the mix. Great pity for him. Long way to come from Durban and then run off the track. But out front, Gareth Besaidenout, Class A rider, is hanging onto the coattails of Graham Frambadar, Class B rider. And look at Michael Smith. Jordan Agliotti, has he bridged the gap? Looks like he's closing him down. He's got ahead of Johan Leroux and Teddy Brook on board with Michael as we go down the hill. Short shift it there, then bang it hard onto the brakes, down into 2nd gear for this tight left-hander, the final turn of the track. Listen to the power as he gets it on. Oh, they scream those Kawasaki's onto that straight.
I love that sound. You can hear the traction control kicking in, just cutting the bike, misfiring it. It almost sounds like it's cutting out completely. That's just the traction control working. Teddy Brook, he's got that traction control working overload because he is doing a phenomenal job to keep it ahead of his championship rival. There is that great battle again. David Enticott doing everything he can, but Aubrey Marais is making himself oh so wide and not allowing the Cape Town man to make that move. Agliotti again, still in no man's land, in 4th place, but this is good championship points, and it looks like they're starting to get that bike sorted.
He's lapping 1/10th, last time out 1:05.1. He's 1/10th behind the top 3 riders, so he's obviously sorted the bike out. Pity they had those problems in the first race, so Jordan will be happy with the performance of his Kawasaki right now.
And Jonty Collard, after his near pooping experience, we could say, coming out of that left-hander, he's just lost the pace because he's dropped like a stone. He's down in 8th place at the moment behind Apana Ganapathy, so something not right with that bike. Graham Frambadar gets the board, 3 laps remaining and +0. Gareth Besaidenout is still right on your tail. There's Sanjeev Singh. He's managed to recoup and he's just ahead there now of Keith Agliotti. Brilliant ride from the back of the grid.
Well, it's great racing all the way through the field. There is Keith Agliotti, as you said. Behind him, Stewie Christie. Stewie gets that bike cleaned up. He doesn't use any body language at all. He just puts that thing on its side.
Yeah, Kevin Schwann style there from Stewie Christie. He does no effort, no work on that motorcycle whatsoever. He lets the bike do all the work. Ian Harwood, not the same kind of Ian we've seen of late. He really has picked up his pace, but finds himself there behind Ruan Alberhauser and Henk Skelling and outside the points. Landy Sinden in that 15 plates in the final points position. Graham Frambadar in the final stages of this race now. Besaidenout still right on his tail. Oh, a little bit tight there from Besaidenout. He's going to have to close that line. Frambadar is going to be able to carry that momentum a little bit better through there than Besaidenout.
Does look like the Stefanudi Stocks bike is turning just slightly better than Gareth's bike. Gareth trying to run up the inside, cut down on the ground, stay on with Graham Frambadar. We're going into the last lap right now. Can Gareth Besaidenout do anything about the charge of the bike on number 1 place and number 1 on the machine?
Yeah, Frambadar is looking very racy. He's not even, he's leaving the door open, Frambadar. He's doing the old classic wide sweeping lines, which he likes to do. So Besaidenout's got to try and take advantage of it. Johan Leroux all over the back now of Class A rider. I mean, there's a 30-year gap difference between those 2 riders. And there Johan Leroux is all over the tailpipe. Frambadar, he's got the hammer down on this last lap. Gareth Besaidenout at the moment with no answer to the pace of Frambadar. They go to the top of the hill. Frambadar is going defensive, still puts the leg out. That's going to let Gareth Besaidenout close right up. There's 3 corners remaining. Can Besaidenout pull off a shock here and shove it on the inside? No, not quite close enough. He's got 2 more corners. Not through the left hand. He's got to carry the momentum. Not going to be close enough. Frambadar is going to make it another.
Ian Harwood a lap ahead, but look at this on the brakes. Gareth Besaidenout, the best ride we've seen from him since Red Star last year.
Definitely.
Fantastic. As the flag comes out.
Brilliant. Well done there. Graham Frambadar picks up the win. Gareth Besaidenout, one of the rides of the day for sure, in second ahead of Michael Smith. Agliotti does hold down 4th ahead of Class C winner Johan Leroux. Teddy Brook, Apana Ganapathy 1 place better in 7th. Jonty Collard disappointing down in 8th. Oh, what an awesome race that was. What awesome racing action it was. Let's go down to the pits and catch up with our top 3 riders.
That one was a lot harder than the first one. The tyres were a little bit less grippy. The track's got a bit hotter, but the bike worked perfectly, and Gareth held on to me for the whole race. I kept seeing +0, so I knew he was right there. Managed to stay on with my times consistently the whole race and bring home the win, and we're very happy. Big thanks to Red Square, to Bridgestone, to my personal sponsors, Stefanuti Stocks, and to Motel, EKJs. Thanks very much, guys.
I just couldn't. He was carrying such good corner speed. I couldn't get close enough to him through the corners to line up a move for the next corner. So I just, I struggled a bit of fatigue towards the end as well. But he rode brilliantly, and I'm just happy to finish that close behind him. But, well done to Graham, well done to Mikey, and to all the guys, and thanks to all the sponsors for making this race happen, especially under our current conditions.
First race was good, I got a second. Second race was a bit tougher. The heat actually, I started sliding around and all of it, so it got hot. But yeah, no, all overall I'm very happy, and thanks a lot for all the guys that participated, and all my family at home, my son and my wife at here. Thank you all.
Top 3 at the TRP podium. We'll catch you at round number 4 of the Red Square ZX10 Masters Cup at Red Star Raceway on the 26th of September. All the ZX10 Masters Cup action is proudly brought to you by Red Square for ultimate activation.